Adam, people always ask me, what is Adam Sessler really like? Is he really a geek and a dork like he acts on TV, or is it phony? And I tell him, no way, Adam is no phony. He is the real deal.
Thank you, Tina. I really do appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it is so true, guys. This guy is truly a geek and a dork.
Stop it, stop it. I just want the audience to know that you two gals are about as authentic as they come.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Adam. That's
People,
awesome.
Thank you.
These ladies are exactly as you see them on the show. Catty and annoying. There is nothing bogus going on here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam. That's so sweet. I mean, we really respect our audience. We know people can smell what's fake, you know?
Totally. And you guys, there's nothing fake about Tina except those two things.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. I'm just saying.
Why would you say that on TV?
I'm getting a little uncomfortable,
It's
so I'm just
okay,
going to
it's
floss.
Your hat looks
You
ridiculous.
shouldn't be embarrassed.
Well, you made out with your first cousin. I didn't tell anybody on TV. Can you make a quality RPG using nothing more than a half-assed understanding of Confucianism? We'll find out with Jade Empire.
And we'll take a look at Midnight Club 3 and ask if the world needs yet another illegal street racer.
And I'm Leslie Stahl. These stories and Andy Rooney tonight on G4TV.com.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the show that changes boy toys more often than Michael Jackson.
Oh,
allegedly. Hey,
bad. You're bad.
Hey, it's true, it's true. Anyway, Adam, it's so awesome to have another blonde, spiky hair person on the show. As you know, these brunettes are really bringing us down.
Well, you know, the spiky, that's really kind of, I think it's more like sprouty.
I was being
best
nice.
effort basis.
You meant bleach blonde, right?
Natural, it goes this way.
Exactly.
Just like this. And you know, I know I'm a big fan of Morgan. Tina and Morgan.
No, it's not that we get along. We're friends.
Except for all the video evidence to the contrary.
Exactly.
That's all. That's all.
We're working through our problems. We're seeing somebody.
You're working it through.
Not
on
the same
television.
person, but we're seeing like therapist type talking to somebody.
Right.
So we're working it out. But how's your show going?
The show is going fine. It's still on the air, and so I just check every night, and then I know, okay, I can go into work the next
And
day.
it's not just on the air. It's on the air about 70 times a day, Adam says.
That is true. That's true. So if you ever miss me,
There's no lack
which
of
I do,
explanation.
Right.
I know where to find
We
myself.
miss you all the time, which is why we decided to have you back on a
Great.
second time. Adam.
What games are people
All right.
playing? What are people talking
Well,
about?
the big one, it's Jade Empire. This is BioWare's RPG, and of course it's such a big deal because BioWare made Knights of the Old Republic, and we're behind Knights of the Old Republic 2, and the original KOTOR was, in our opinion, on X-Play, you know, the best game of 2003.
Yes.
I cannot stand turn-based RPGs, and it actually made me love them. Of course, Jade Empire is a significantly different game because it involves combat, and it's real-time combat,
Right.
and it takes place in a mystical Chinese
That's
land.
right.
Yes, and an
Not
original
based on
setting.
ancient China, but a mystical China.
We talked a little bit about the combat. You had a little bit of problems with it, but let's find out what people on the board are saying. Adam Barnes wrote in, he's from Florence, Alabama, and says the story is one of the coolest things about Jade Empire. Death's Hand is one of the most intriguing villains I've seen since Darth Vader. Now, I may agree it's got a great story, but I just think there's way too much reading in this RPG to get to really get into. Adam, do you agree with me on that?
Well, I mean, do you think it's more reading compared to KOTOR, or do you think there's too much reading in KOTOR
I just think it's too much reading in the RPG in general. I'm not an RPG fan whatsoever, so I can't say that it's not a great game.
Right.
It's just not my style of game, but I still feel for an RPG, it just got a lot of, it's very text heavy at the beginning. But hey, Adam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I actually played the game with the subtitles turned off, which I kind of liked the experience that brought. But I didn't think that it was really that much of a problem.
That's interesting that you did that because I actually played it with the sound off so I could click through and read as fast as I wanted to because the voice acting is too slow for me.
I
love the
found that
voice
with
acting.
all of
That
their
was great.
games that once you've already gotten through the sentence by reading it and they're still
Right.
kind of lingering on the words. I think it's a problem that in a lot of games that voice work tends to be a little bit too ponderous. There are a few games that are exceptions.
Right, now Adam, did you play KOTOR as well from BioWare?
I did. It was an awesome game.
How do you compare this to KOTOR?
It's not quite as good. I don't think it's the classic that Knights of the Old Republic was, but there's still a lot to like about it. I mean, the story was amazing. The characters were really interesting. And,
Well, talk about the combat, Adam, because we're used to seeing the turn-based, and like we were talking about this Adam and Adam. It's real time. Does that pull you out of it, or do you prefer just seeing the turn-based like we did in KOTOR?
Well, I thought the combat in Jade Empire, it kind of works for the game, but it's not as big of, you know,
It's
not
nowhere
as good
near as polished. It's just, it doesn't have that. It felt kind of clunky. I don't know, Adam, if you play God of War, but I found that to be the biggest problem. After coming off of this just sublime combat system in God of War, to then go to what felt kind of jerky and unsure of itself
Almost a
in
half-assed
Jade
fight.
Empire, yeah. And
No,
the
I
other
mean,
thing is,
the combat is definitely not one of the best things about the game.
Yeah.
But I think it does the job that it's really supposed to.
So what do you feel like is the best thing about the game?
Definitely the story.
I would agree with him on
But don't you just want to go and read the book? I mean, it's a video game.
Pick up the novel.
I like to keep my reading in my video game will compare it to like reading the back of your shampoo bottle. Like we want to keep it just the basic instructions. Otherwise, I'll go buy a novel.
It could be a good book, but you know, when you play a game and you read a book, it's a different experience.
Understandable. Personally, I'm going to have to say that I felt more of a connection with the characters in KOTOR than I did here because it's, you know, text heavy for the first 2 hours and then it lightens up here in Jade Empire. But the first 2 hours, they just throw so much at you that it was confusing at points. You know, and I'm an intelligent woman.
And they use big words, which you've always had a problem with.
You know, with like multiple syllables.
Yes, exactly.
No, seriously, there was just so much background and so much history that it was like I wanted to take notes to make sure I was catching it all because part of me just wanted to get to the gameplay that I wasn't reading as thoroughly as I would.
And there's always that fear like, oh my God, am I missing something important?
Exactly.
Because you're still trying to get used to it. I think also I was a little put off at first story-wise just because the thing was. I kept on feeling it was about to veer into this land of stereotypes that was me like, even though I guess Star Wars,
I think it totally did.
Star Wars, I mean, Star Wars is a world of stereotypes, but they're ones that are kind of original, of course.
I think Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, it had a couple of really good characters. You know, the HK robot, he was awesome, but
well, we just haven't seen enough Star Wars games, though. That's the problem.
I know
with
there's
that.
such a shortage.
There is.
I wish they do one like based on the Lego.
I also wish there were like 3 more bad movies that I could watch so they can make more games based on
Episode 97. But Adam, so are you recommending people to pick up this as an RPG or not pick this up?
Well, if you really like Knights of the Old Republic, I think you'll probably enjoy the game.
But be disappointed in comparison.
You're right. It's not going to match up. I think the thing I find so interesting is that I don't like turn-based games. I thought, oh, cool, real-time fighting, yay. And then I played it, and I really missed the turn-based fighting because when I was playing Knights of the Old Republic, I love like setting up all my neat attacks and then sitting back and watching me just, kick butt
Which is what I hate about that game, which is me going, if I'm going to be, that's the one thing I actually really enjoyed about Jade Empire is for me to sit back and go, okay, I'm going to kick your ass, but first I'm going to say I'm going to right punch, left, and then I go, now go do it. There's something about that, it's sort of, it's much more passionate when you go right into combat. Now you're kicking ass, and there's no setting.
I found it
agree. Sister.
Oh, I brought the two of you together. That's not fair. I'm driving away.
All right, we got to take a quick break. Laura has to go throw up her breakfast. But upon our return, we're going to find out if Rockstar delivers with Midnight Club 3.
If you stop calling me fat, I wouldn't have to do these things.
Well, you gained a little
Flossing.
bit. I'm trying to let you,
Flossing.
I don't want you to be embarrassed on television.
Hi, this is Father Adrian Gonzalez. I just want to say that I will be renouncing my religion of Christianity to worship the Greco-Roman gods. Thanks to the awesome video game of God of War. Really did change my life.
Why is every single time there's not a naked chick or lots of violence in the game, people always say, oh, it's kiddie, and don't play it? Is the game fun? Yes? Then shut up and play it.
I want somebody to make a Tony Danza game and call it Extravaganza.
I like the religious one, so it's like the new Kabbalah with God of War.
We're bringing spirituality to the world.
Yeah, there's positive things. Religion,
I hear
sex,
Tom DeLay
violence.
getting in a car to come over
And the
here
reason
now.
it's a kiddie game if we don't have sex, drugs, and rock and roll, because that's all adults do.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Hey, welcome back.
Oh, really?
Adam Sessler of
You're still a
X-Play
child.
fame is joining us.
Yes.
We couldn't afford Morgan, but we're very excited that you're here.
Well,
I mean,
I heard there's a fruit basket for me afterwards.
actually, Morgan ate it, but we're really
She
excited
left
you're
you a
here, and you
core.
look great. I love your shirt. We
All
tried
right.
on a couple shirts before.
Yeah, we did.
And this is the one
we settled with
decided on.
this. And,
Yeah.
well, we know what the kids say about my shirts and what it does to their members. And
Yes,
we'll
but anyway.
Okay.
that for X-Play.
This
But
is the
beyond
M-rated
Jade
show.
Empire, what's everybody talking about?
All right, so now Rockstar Games put out another game. No, it's not Grand Theft Auto. And no, it's not State of Emergency. Thankfully, it's not State of Emergency.
Yes.
It's their venerable street racing series, Midnight Club. This is number 3
Yes.
with Dub Edition.
Dub Edition.
Once
Dub.
again, this is legal street racing. You may have heard of it. If you haven't, I want to hug you.
Wow, what an original idea.
I know, isn't
All
that-
right, you guys. Okay, we know that the genre is flooded, but this is a really solid
It's based
game.
on a Vin Diesel movie from 4 years ago.
It's fine, but even though the genre is still saturated, just like there's lots of RPGs and there's
True.
lots of first-person shooters, but if a good one comes
Yes.
out, you've got to give it props.
Because I believe, I may be wrong, I believe when the first Midnight Club came out, which was right around the beginning of the PS2, this hadn't become such a fad. I thought it was a cool game. I think I feel a sense of exhaustion.
Okay,
now.
well, let's see what people on the board are saying.
Yeah, let's see what people
All
are on
right.
boards. Am I the only one who is sick and tired of seeing one illegal street racing game after another? And that is from Michael Boyd from Breckenridge, Colorado. And Michael, you are not alone. Are you with me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. Now, what do you think of illegal street racing games as a whole?
Well, as a whole, I think they suck, pretty much.
They suck, but do
I mean-
individual hold up? Tina's about to chew you out, but hold on, I'm gonna get you back here for a second. Have you played Midnight Club 3? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I played Midnight Club 3. I actually think it's, out of all the legal street racing games, it's probably one of the better ones.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking
I agree.
for. Thank you. I just want someone to come up and say, yes, but this conversation is not about the genre in general. It's about Midnight Club 3 because that's what people are playing. It's got online capability. It's got the deepest customization mode that I've seen in a legal street racing game. And I just think it's a really, if you like racing games, which you don't like, Laura.
I don't like racing games. I don't like driving in real life, nor do I like doing it virtually.
Right, and I don't think you're a
People hit
fan
me
of
with
it.
cars.
Yeah. And out of the 3, this is by far the best. I did not like Midnight Club 1 and 2.
Michael, what do you like about the game?
But I think the genre as a whole is really it's getting really tired. I mean, there's on Need for Speed Underground, they're making a new one, like Most Wanted or something like that.
Let's discuss, what is it that you like so much about it that makes it above and beyond the others?
Well, I like the customization, like adding all the parts to it and, tricking it out and all that.
Totally.
I like the Xbox Live support.
Yep.
Playing online, because, well, if you play single player, you think you're pretty good, but then you go up against real people and you can kind of get a better,
Real people
on
are
how good you actually are.
Right. I have to say, though, I was a little disappointed in Rockstar. They're just so becoming cliche. The characters, like, the opening screen comes out, this Latin, like, thug-type guy, and trust me, normally...
Have you played Grand Theft Auto?
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
I believe that's a department of cheap stereotypes.
They've exhausted...
Actually, the collar's
Midnight Club 2, they had characters that were cliche as well, like... like a Vin Diesel character kind of guy, and a bunch of other nonsense like that. And
it is very stereotypical, and I think I get that the whole genre is saturated and stuff, Michael and stuff, but you just got to give props to a good game that still comes out with solid gameplay. I'm a street racing fan. I like the online. No, it's not completely innovative. It didn't invent something brand new that we haven't seen before.
Tina, you didn't like the other two.
No, I didn't. They were really difficult, and they've got these arrows that are really tough to see sometimes, and they're really, I think they really tackled this problem in Midnight Club.
This was the best one I played, probably the best street racing game I played.
I didn't even think 1 or 2 were even playable. It was so frustrating. You got lost all the time.
Well, I think what's going to be sad is, I agree, this other genre is probably one of its best examples, but Need for Speed Underground just somehow has a lock on this, and the people can't seem to look outside of it. I'm really curious to see if Rockstar, by virtue of them being Rockstar, will be able to at least show people an alternative, so it'll force you to try to make a better game. And I think Need for Speed Underground is just it's a disc that's an ad. I mean, it's just it's nearly...
Yeah, well,
so you prefer this game?
Oh, I would play this game. I would recommend this game to other people who like this type of game, and I would steer them clear of Need for Speed Underground, where the customization there is so superficial, it has no actual bearing on how the car really performs.
But it's missing one thing. It's missing boobs and ass.
Yes, I'm about to say, and I being a connoisseur of that from a distance. I've
That's what I've heard about you, picking on the Office, the girls.
That, and the cars, and a highly colorful character. 2 highly colorful characters are found on the whip set, and that's obviously on Sunday nights here at G4
10 o'clock.
at 10 p.m.
So if you're a car enthusiast, you can actually watch a little bit of
You don't even have to like cars.
Well, you guys won't watch it because you're not car enthusiasts. All right, we got a break for a couple of minutes. Laura has to throw up her snack, but when we come back, it's all about you. We're scanning the forums and answering your really, really, really tough and personal questions about that one thing that you did that one night.
I feel sick.
They found out.
Oh!
Secret. Hey, welcome back to the show. We're having a fantastic time. Adam Sessler's joining us. It's been a blast. You look fantastic, by the way.
You look good.
Really?
You look
The
great.
minute someone says that to me, like the hairs in the back of my neck stand up, because I know something bad's about to happen.
Well, you have something on your nose, but don't even worry about it. We're not even noticing that.
All right.
I like the hairs on the back of your neck, Adam.
Okay.
Okay, stop. Hi.
Don't make me floss.
All right, on the show, Adam, Laura, settle down.
Tina.
We really pride ourselves in bringing top game developers and company executives to give you guys great previews and to get thoughts on what's coming up, right?
It's important.
But what we're missing are the people on the front lines.
Yeah.
Right? Those guys that know what people are renting, what they're buying, what they're selling, and what they're replaying.
Yes.
It's a gaming trench foot. That's
Exactly what it is. So we decided to go to America's Heartland to meet our soldier.
Aye, aye.
His name is Shane Hoffman. He's the manager at Maple Grove, Minnesota Game Zone. So we're going to call him up right now, and we're going to ask him a couple of questions. We want to know what the game community is doing.
We want to know.
So we're going to go ahead and...
Can help you.
Hey, Shane, how are you? This is Tina Witt from G4. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. So we just want to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
What are people renting right now?
Tons of people are asking for Revenge of the Sith. They just have to wait a few more days, but I think it's going to be an awesome game. A lot of God of War. We were selling out that game like crazy. It just cannot keep it on the shelf.
That
Understandably
game makes
so.
people change their religion. I just wanted to say.
They go monotheistic and polytheistic. I have to say, I was just at Star Wars Celebration 3, and they had the Revenge of the Sith game there. This is the first time I've seen a Star Wars game based on one of the movies that looks like a legitimate game. It's being done by the Collective, which have had some hit or miss, but some pretty good stuff with Indiana Jones and Buffy. But this has real saber
So it's not just
combat like I've never
fanboys
seen
being
before.
excited about it. It's
No.
going to be a legitimate
I
game.
mean, the best way we could describe it, it's kind of like the Return of the King and the Two Towers games in Star Wars. This was awesome.
Now, Shane, what can you not get rid of? What's just stacked on your shelves that you can't sell fast enough?
Halo 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's been out for a while. Let's cut it some slack. And what about, are people returning anything?
Yeah, a lot of trade-ins right now on Time Splitters. It's a great game, but it's incredibly short. People have been complaining about the length of it. And, like, it's all about the multiplayer, but if you don't have online, it's pretty much, you know, just play for 6-7 hours, you're done with it.
So really so we're seeing no replayability in Time Splitters.
To a certain extent, you gotta have the online. Like, it's a total online game. I mean, online is the future of gaming. If you don't have online, you're pretty much gonna get left, you know, back in the Stone Age.
Somebody tell Nintendo.
It's the same thing that we said about Time Splitters actually on a review. If you're aiming for the single player, you have nothing. And if you don't like multiplayer, don't buy it.
Now, we just previewed Star Wars Legos, which I was a huge fan of. Can you tell me anything exciting about Star Wars Legos? Is it flying off your shelves?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I throw it in for like 10 minutes, and a family comes in, they buy it instantly. It's just the most fun game I've played in a long
The
time.
family buys it for their small children. Let's point out that. Thank
You always have something negative to add. Shane, we really appreciate it. And how's your day going? You having a good day?
Yeah, you know, it's awesome. Good weather. People are coming in, you know, checking out all the new stuff that came out this week, so it's a good day.
All right, we're going to all call your store and hope that you get a raise.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shane, so
Thank you,
much.
Shane.
We appreciate
We'll
it.
check in again
It's
soon.
you know what it is? It's interesting to kind of go out into the community and really find out what people are really spending. Because we get the numbers coming in, we get the executives saying,
stats.
my game's great, but this is a guy who's saying, look, this is what people are actually really doing. So maybe we'll call around a couple of different stores. And
if anyone wants Halo 2, now you know where it's
Yeah, they're in
plentifully
Minnesota. I
stocked.
saw that guy. He's like, where can I find it?
I'm glad people are playing it and enjoying it and buying God of War because
Well, that's
just
fantastic. And it's
a great
interesting
game.
about Time Splitters. I actually thought that it would have more replayability, that the online would be a little bit more effective, but obviously
the single
not.
player
you know?
is really, the AI is pretty bad.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Sort of.
Oh.
Do I agree with you?
You do.
No,
You do.
confused.
Don't make a habit of it.
All right, everybody needs a little tweaking now and then.
So dirty.
Maybe you're tired
need
of your
tweaking.
old duds, or you're just too old for that short, blonde, spiky hair covered by a multicolored
Bring on a
beret.
floss.
Well, we have a gamer makeover coming your way right after the break, so don't go anywhere. Don't change that dial.
Do I have to go back to the fake issue and let
People
people
have
know?
dials anymore? Did I just
No
age
one has
myself?
dials. Dated and
Am I
fake.
67? Next week, prepare for the ultimate trip as we evaluate Tim Schafer's new title, Psychonauts, and we sit down with LucasArts and Star Wars Episode 3.
Good times. Good times. Make sure to tune in. Now, you guys,
Psychonauts.
Axe Body Wash came to us, and they offered a free makeover to one of our viewers. And judging by the gamers that hang around the G4 offices, some gamers could use a makeover. Tina.
You guys.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry.
a bunch of you guys wrote in. Tina wrote in a bunch too, but that's a different story. But a bunch of you wrote in. So right now, let's take a look at the very lucky recipient of an Axe Body Wash makeover. Roll it. So I want to thank everyone out there who entered the Axe Body Wash Makeover contest. We got thousands of entries, but there was one guy who seemed a little bit more stylistically stunted than the rest of you. His name's Jonah. Here he comes. Now, Jonah, we're going to make you look so good that your girlfriend's panties are going to take themselves off. Come on. Jonah! Now, we're at the Vaxburg Salon, LA's premier salon for celebrity makeovers. And this here is my stylist, Andy Scarborough. We're gonna make you look so hot. We've gone out, we pulled a bunch of clothes that I think are gonna look really good on you, and I think you're gonna like them. You guys ready? Yeah. Let's do it, all right. Jonah's gonna get naked.
Let's do it.
Jonah doesn't know this, but we've secretly flown in his girlfriend Cindy to be a part of this special surprise. What do you think of Jonah's look?
Jonah's look is going downhill.
Going downhill,
You know,
huh?
it seems like there's a scent emanating from his body.
Let me tell you something. We've given him some Axe body wash to take care of the scent, so don't worry about that. And we've given him a whole bunch of other surprises that I really, really think you're gonna like. Okay, have a seat. Let me go get your man. Jonah, we've got a surprise for you. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, honey.
Look how good he looks.
I got my belt,
Oh my God, do you
my
love it?
bracelet, necklace. I look like Laura Boy. Yeah. You like it?
Oh my God. You look horrible.
You don't like it?
God.
What's the problem? I did this for you.
Jonah, don't forget your Axe body wash.
Only you would dress somebody up and make them look exactly like yourself.
Well, given the fact that I actually used to look like that as well.
Right, dude, it's a good look.
Yeah, explains why the women ran.
Yes, I'm sure people now are really writing in to be part of the
I think he looked great. What more could you want?
Yes.
Anybody, we're out of time. So we want to thank everybody for kicking around the old controller with us today. Especially thanks to the Sess for filling in the incredibly large ash cushion left by Jeff
Wait, that was
Keighley.
a cushion? I thought it was an after dinner mint.
That's why we love to have you around, Adam
So
Sessler.
wrong on so many levels. And Tina, I want to thank you for making me look good just by being here.
Absolutely.
All right.
Anytime.
See you next week. Bye.
Thank you, Adam.
I see you out there.
Still trying to be fly with that 10-year-old cassette player? Come on, dog. Join us in the 21st century. How does a $20,000 interior car makeover sound to you? Watch G4 for clues every night from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Then go to G4TV.com to enter the Whipset sweepstakes. 4 new clues drop every night. The more you watch, the more chances you have to win. Please believe it's the Whipset sweepstakes, May 8th through May 21st.
Tune in, geek out, game on. It's time for E305.
Boom!
We've got an entire week of the biggest, baddest video game event of the year. G4 is teaming up with IGN to bring you 2 hours a day of live coverage from the show floor. Get ready for huge games and even huger gamers.
It doesn't get any more electrifying than this.
E305 Live, presented by Jeep, starting May 16th at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.